The global closures market is dominated by the plastic screw closure. In 2010, in the food and beverage market, we're expecting to see sales of about 406 billion units in the retail channel alone. This compares with about 53 billion units when we look at the metal screw cap. So you can see quite a large difference there. Now, about half of that figure comes from the carbonates and bottled water categories alone, so very much concentrated on two single categories. Now, whilst carbonates are not expected to see much growth, in fact in North America they're expected to see some declines in consumptions, bottled water is still expected to see some quite positive sales, especially in the developing markets of Africa and Middle East, Latin America and Asia Pacific, both because of increasing disposable incomes, making bottled water an affordability, but also because in some cases that's the only source of trustable portable water. We're also seeing very good growth in terms of absolute volumes across Western Europe and North America. Whilst this only actually accounts for about 0.5% in compound annual growth rate to 2014, that's still going to contribute about 2.5 billion additional units to the market. Whilst of course bottles and jars account for the greatest requirement for closures, other pack types also see some interesting closure development. In fact, it's some of the other pack types where we see the most innovative things happening as consumers increasingly require functionalities such as reclosability and dosability in pack types where they were quite happy not to have this before. One example would be metal food cans, where we've seen very strong growth of the easy open can end against the standard can end. In fact, if we look at can preserved food on a global level, we've seen the easy open can end grow by 30% since 2005. So really is taking share from the standard can end. And this is during a period at which actual sales of metal food cans have remained fairly stagnant. We're also seeing the growth of the peel-off foil in metal food can. It's still very, very niche, but this has allowed companies such as Bonduelle in France to have a real point of differentiation and to deliver that easy openability to their clients. Liquid cartons are another pack type where closures are not always present, and we've seen an increasing use of closures, particularly in categories such as drinking milk, where the reclosability enables consumers to store the product and keep it fresh for longer. And also in things like fruit juice, where the closure enables better pourability as well as closability. And for reasons such as that, we have seen closures grow by 11 billion units on liquid cartons since 2005. Closures on liquid cartons are also of interest in baby food, where we're seeing strong uptake in prepared baby food and liquid milk formula. We're seeing very strong growth in liquid milk formula, partly because of quite a heavy growth in liquid over the powder format. Pouches too have seen a strong uptake of closures, where previously these wouldn't necessarily have existed, particularly in categories in home care and personal care. This has partly been driven by environmental issues and economy issues, where brands are now offering refill pouches in order both to save consumers money, and this is a big driver for pouches in Asia Pacific, but also to appeal to their environmental credentials, because these often use less plastic, and this is a driver in North America and Western Europe. Now, whilst this has been the case for products such as liquid soap for refill pouches, we're increasingly seeing now pouches with closures being positioned as the main pack type. For example, in the UK, Original Source is now provided in a pouch with a closure that is not meant to be a refill pouch to refill the main pack type. Closures can also offer dosability, which is increasingly important for consumers, sometimes for economical reasons. So for example, if you're buying a Nourisher anti-ager, which can cost upwards of $100 for a 2 fluid ounce pot, you want to make sure you're using all of it efficiently. And so a lotion pump can help you to do that. Another interesting launch has been Method's concentrated laundry detergent that uses a pump closure, again to help consumers ensure that they're delivering the right amount of product for their wash and to reduce wastage. And this is particularly important in a product such as a very concentrated laundry detergent, because that's when waste can really mount up if you're overusing. And as we're coming out of the recession, although people may be having slightly more disposable income, they're still looking to maximise the value they get from their packaging.